All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back now with our round number 3 matchup. As you saw there in our pre-show, it is going to be OJC versus Quest Supernatural. So a pretty good matchup here. Let's take a quick look. We'll hide Snooper's beautiful face for just a moment. And, ooh, you'll have to excuse my video there not being on the right. There we go. That's me. You don't want to see my OBS. That's not what you want to be looking at. But let's hide Snooper's beautiful face and take a look at our standings here just for a moment. So this is after 2 rounds of completed play. The standings are definitely a little bit more set. Oh, what just happened with my standings? My apologies, folks. I don't know what that was. There we go. Back to the right one. Tech issues all day today. That's what we're having. All right, so it looks like number 1, we've got Aimless Gaming currently at the top of the standings. Dead Logic taking the 2nd spot. Quest Supernatural with the number 3 rank, and OJC in 4th. So the way it's going to shake out is if they can take a pretty decent score line on this map, OJC will snake that 3rd spot, possibly even the 2nd spot from Dead Logic, and fight for the finals. Otherwise, Quest Supernatural will secure their spot in that top 3 and potentially move on to the finals of the Challenger Cup that they'll have to play sometime during this week. So this is definitely a pivotal game for both of these teams right now. They're essentially vying for that competitive spot in the 4th round. And Snooper, what are your thoughts? I mean, we're going to a very storied map here. I'll show it to the folks while you prep your thoughts. But we are going to quarantine. What are your thoughts?
Well, quarantine is definitely sort of the X factor here. Quest Supernatural, been playing a season or 2. Definitely a good team. OJC, as we've seen, very veteran team. They've played more than a few seasons, but when it comes to the new version of quarantine, where the plane's been redone, there's a few new buildings with indoors, like there's the hospital in front of the ambulance, the little crash building, or not little, but the big 3-story crash building with that rooftop. Even the center area, where it used to just be a glass building that you had to go around, now has an sort of a little under car part that you can go through. It's definitely a new thing that teams have to get used to, and I honestly couldn't tell you who would win this. I want to say OJC because I love my boys from Japan. They can certainly give up a good fight, as we've seen, but Quest Supernatural is just as capable. They've proven that, and I mean, it's sort of a coin flip. I mean, I hate to keep saying that I don't know who's going to win at this point, but we're at that point where a lot of teams are just on the same skill level, even if they're veterans, even if they're new.
Yeah, absolutely. It is not an easy Challenger Cup to call. I mean, not that they've really ever been super simple, but they do definitely get harder and harder every single season. So let's see how this pans out as round 1 kicks off. We get Quest Supernatural on the offense attacking the hospital OBJ, the ambulance OBJ in the older versions of the map. They've opted to go for this 2-3 split. Take a look at the overhead map real quick. You'll see what I'm talking about. 3 up in the north there, the blue members of Marsoc, and then the 2 pushing across the south directly into Nep's position. He finds 1, he finds 2, and the trade comes out, and that is best case scenario for Nep's spot as he shuts down the south, but then loses his life as a result. Now, this is not ideal. OJC is not aware of those kills. They do not know what happened. They just know that a teammate is no longer available in the southeast, and that means they may have to overcorrect for a position where they will not see any players coming from. We'll see how that affects the rest of this round.
Yeah, I mean, that can also be a benefit. You'll tighten up your defense. You'll make sure that that side's a little bit covered by someone, but it could also be a detriment considering you're shifting your defense to cover that lost player, and you don't know necessarily if he got kills or not. So it can go both ways. OJC's definitely has a solid defense for where the objective is. Definitely will cover most of the entrances, but if they lose too many people on the approach here, because it's pretty much Shinzo versus the rest of Quest Supernatural, and Shinzo finds Wingman, it could go either way here, especially since it's a 1v2 right now with Wingman giving out information.
He tosses the flash up and over, but it is not quick enough getting back into cover. And Toast will find that kill, but it is just a down. So still information can come out. Nope, there it is. He cleans it up. That's going to be a res available for Quest Supernatural here. And they're going to need it. They are down to 2 without this res.
I think Black is watching that top floor to see if anyone gets up there. Question is, how much visibility does he have with that wall there in the plane? I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he was able to see anyone. He might be giving out information because he didn't have a clear shot, that's for sure.
No, he does not. In fact, it does look like he spotted Toast potentially rotating around. He did indeed. And the shots will ring out, bringing Quest Supernatural down to just 2 players with a little bit over 2 minutes left in the round.
OJC is definitely in a great spot here. Black knows where Wingman is. He might have seen Pickle Police too, but that's questionable right now. But he'll hear Pickle Police in about 20 seconds if he keeps moving the way he is. Even if he gets down to
he
a
doesn't have a
crouch.
lot of time. You know, that's what it is. He's got to be moving quickly because he's got about a minute and a half, but he still has to clear an entire building, if not 2.
Yeah.
And he does not have a lot of time to do that in. So yeah, he is making quite a bit of noise. Black should be hearing this. He does indeed. Checks the tablet, rotates. We'll see if he is going to be ready for this peek. Now, Pickle should be aware that somebody could be sitting in this corner. He did hear the shots ring out that killed his teammate. Is he going to be ready on this corner? Flash comes out. Pickle tucks in. Not going to be affected by it. Oh, Black pushes the inside. The flash a little too late, and Pickle goes down as a result.
How is that impossible? Can you
And there's the call-outs there from Pickle trying to figure out what happened to him. Take a look at this nice little play from Black. The tucked-in flash doesn't hit, but then the rush into the inside, dodging the other flash. And there's the pressure from 2 sides as CK Japan forces him around the building. Black reacting off that intel, pushes in and gives OJC that round 1 win.
Yeah, I mean, the Wingman at the end there was in a rough position. Black already knew where he was, and once he called that in, he got help from a player over an ambulance, and essentially the Wingman was being pincered from both sides, and the only way he could go was forward into Black. And Black took advantage of that and got the kill. And bravo, OJC. Solid defense.
They did a great job on that defense. That push early on into Nep-Nep's position was a good bit of fortune. I mean, he was relatively quick on the draw, managed to find 2 before he traded out. And that is, not a very common occurrence. Usually you take on 2 players, you maybe get 1 and trade out. But in this case, it pans out nicely for them, and now we see what Quest Supernatural can do on the same defense.
I believe Quest Supernatural can hold the line. Quarantine is a map with all these big, wide open lanes. You see the streets, and there's not much cover on those streets. You'd expect a map like this to have, say, more cars, maybe a little bit more rubble to block out those wide open lanes, but that's not the case here. You got to get across those streets relatively quickly. You're not going to have the cover to keep yourself alive, and I think Quest Supernatural can certainly take advantage of that. But OJC is a veteran team, so we're going to see some really good stuff.
All right, I'm going on top of this building. Okay.
Quest Supernaturals getting ready for their defense. Little conversation about where they're headed. It's always a little worrying, right, when you jump out and you start hearing the teams like just making their battle plans, because that little minute and a half you get in between rounds is usually where you sort of figure out where everybody's going. So always an interesting choice. But the quick spawn for OJC gives them the quick advantage as they find the 2 unprepared members of Quest Supernatural out in the open. Nice little shots there will give OJC a nice lead going into the second round.
Yeah, I mean, that essentially was a 2-on-5, and they just didn't even have a chance to pull their guns up.
With the pressure coming out as Pickle and Marked Red both peek out into some dangerous fire. Shinzu there on the re-peek finds Pickle, and now it's a 2v5, a 1v5 as Wingman goes down on the top. OJC has got Pet out on the he's got Pet out on the inside. They've got to stay tucked in. Mark Red goes down the communication.
No, it was a cap. A cap went out right before the last kill. And, I mean, there's a question.
The score didn't update for me. Do you have 3 points on your side?
Oh, I saw 2. Never mind. My
Okay,
bad.
I was gonna say. I was like, no, I don't think it did. I heard Black talking about, oh no, he's, he almost had the cap. So, but a very close cap there. Had they just, had he just died, basically, had that kill not come out, that would have been a 3-point lead for OJC. But 2 points is not so bad, honestly.
I mean, as you were previously saying, that is the importance of communication. If, say, Black said, I'm capping, OJC could have ran their whole team to distract that last player on Quest Supernatural so that Black had maybe, minute or two to get that cap in. And that's really how you get the points. That's how you bring home the bacon. Communication, guys.
Yeah, a lot of teams.
Objective.
A lot of teams will be learning that the hard way here, right?
Yeah, it's definitely where you figure out, oh, by the way, we need to be talking. You can't be giving up caps like that. Even if you're a veteran team like OJC, you want that extra point. You want that extra buffer room.
Looks like, yeah, we may have jumped into gameplay a little too early. Oh no, it looks like OJC wasn't able to reset in time. And a stroke of luck there for Quest Supernatural to just get a free point like that on a bit of a technicality. Yeah, they did lose somebody, it looks like.
One player definitely didn't exit the game fast enough. For anyone new that's watching, if you want to reset the round, you got to do it in the first 15 seconds. And if you wait past that, well, guess who gets the point? The other team. Whether it was an accident or not, point now goes to Quest Supernatural. And OJC is only up 1 point.
So now they're back on offense, and this is like an interesting thought, right? If you go back on offense this quickly, and you kind of don't shift the mindset of the team, right? You've just come off a nice Marsoc win, and technical issue, etc. aside, now you're coming back into another Marsoc round. You've got that sort of offensive momentum to build off of. I wonder if this actually ends up being beneficial for OJC. I mean, they were in cap range. They basically had it. If they could just do it again, despite giving Quest Supernatural a point, they could just end this map right here. It's an interesting thought to have for how that could affect the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, the flip side of that is that's a rather disappointing way to lose a point, and whether OJC keeps their head about it, that's going to tell how they play out the next few rounds. If you start getting down on yourself because one player didn't quite do their job and back out of the game fast enough, well, you're now no longer focusing on the game, you're no longer focusing on the objective, and you may just start slipping up. That one player may be too down on themselves about that too, so these are all things you need to consider. The mental game is a big part of Onward in any kind of fight. You need to stay in the game, you need to stay in the fight, and whether an accident happens like that, you need to keep pushing forward. Fortunately, OJC is a veteran team, and we've certainly seen them push through losses to get wins, ultimate wins. So we'll see what happens. It definitely looks like they're going to do a bit more planning here. And it looks like everyone's ready, so we should be starting up soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully we will be getting into this next round very soon. I mean, we are wrapping things up. So we did say in the pre-show there was going to be 5 rounds, but in fact, with the adjustments to the way we were doing map bans, there are now 4. So that because teams get to decide, we don't have to play that 5th round tiebreaker. So it is a shorter series for everybody, but a lot more on the line, a lot less wiggle room, as they say, to try to, get yourself out of a hole. Now, one loss could be the whole series, right? You definitely have to go for perfect score when it comes to this new Challenger Cup format.
I mean, you want those extra points too, and as Noman said, if you just let one go, that's going to be a ding to you, especially in the last match, which is coming up after this. So whether OJC takes this or not, that might sting them in the end. Here we go, round 4.
Here it is, Quest Supernatural on the defense.
Okay, I didn't see Pickle Police for a second. I was a little concerned. But they definitely seem to have plans on Quest Supernatural as to where people are going to be. And this is honestly an objective that's relatively easy to defend. You've got the motel, you've got the center area where the objective is, and you got another building on the other side. But it doesn't look like, well, Quest Supernatural is making a late push to the south.
I was gonna say this coverage is really light on the objective, but almost taunting OJC with the potential cap. But they do get the coverage in place on the actual objective itself. But now Wingman here, crossing under fire. The shots come out. Ooh, very nice long-range pick by CK there to nab Toast all the way in the north.
It's just sort of wandered out there, which isn't what you want to do. If you're, I guess he was going for a flank, perhaps. I would have gone all the way around the north alleyway. That would have been a safer push. But decisions are decisions, and we can't influence the players. And we're not definitely on their level. We can't see what they see, and they can't see what we see.
Yeah, absolutely. The trades are coming out left and right. I'm trying to keep an eye on the north, but meanwhile, the south is all coming apart as Pickle Police gets downed there. It should be a res, but Markdread's got to be quick about this. If that's a re-peak, that is another pick for Black and potentially a wide open objective.
Yeah, then they invested a lot of people in the north. Quest Supernatural invested a lot of people in the north, and if the objective goes down, they're not getting back to it in time before OJC gets to it. It's a 4v3 right now, a little bit of a dangerous position for the defense, and it looks like OJC is pushing through the north, and it's pretty much gone at this point. So Quest Supernatural is definitely in a bit of a pickle right now.
They're in a pickle and they have a pickle, so maybe it works out. Maybe they cancel out when you've got
maybe they do.
When you've got the double pickle situation happening. Maybe that's the best case scenario. But all jokes aside, they are down 1, out 2 additional, so now they're just down to 2 with 4 left on the OJC side and plenty of time left. 3 minutes left to try to make this happen. You know they're thinking cap. You know they're thinking, hey, let's make up for that free point we gave them by taking away a free point, and of course taking away the series as well. Wow, yeah. And just like that, 2 quick picks will seal the deal as OJC goes up 3-1 here on this third match. Holy cow, that was like coordinated, you know, in those games where you gotta time it, you know, 3, 2, 1, everybody take your shot at the same time. That's what I feel like just happened. OJC sealing the deal. And Quest Supernatural now fighting for their lives in this series.
And one thing to note is OJC is a Japanese team, so they communicate in Japanese. And most of our teams are, I want to say, American or European. They don't speak Japanese, so OJC is in a very unique position in that all their callouts can basically not be understood by the other team. All they hear is Japanese. So that's an even bigger advantage for their team. They can be in close range combat and basically tell their team to do something, where in a normal situation, if we were speaking English or even Spanish or French, which we do have some players that understand that language, you might be giving information to the other team. And yeah, OJC doesn't have that disadvantage.
Absolutely. It is something that, you know, we don't talk about quite often, but those comms, just hearing them is intel on its own, but also understanding what's coming through the headsets, you know, that it's a big deal. You can sort of glean a lot of positional information if you are able to eavesdrop on a team's communications. And yeah, like Snooper said, it is not something that that Quest Supernatural has, even in the close quarters, unless of course they're studious in the Japanese language. I mean, who knows? Quarantine has afforded all of us a lot of time, so I don't see any reason why people can't just learn another language in the time that we've all been locked in our homes.
Pick up Japanese for Onward.
Yeah, specifically for the Challenger Cup. Hey, listen, the way OJC's been playing this season and so far in the Challenger Cup as well, I mean, you know, any leg up you can get over them, I think, would not be the worst idea. We'll see if that's how it ends up panning out, but they are definitely putting up a good fight. And the rest of the top of the standings has had some really solid games. We'll see how Black deals with this northern push. It is a fully stacked northern push from Quest Supernatural. Not a single player going mid-map or south here.
Essentially a 1v4 right now. There is one question. Oh, and Black finds Wingman and Mark, but the refrag comes out from Pickle Police, but Nep at the same time finds Silverfire, and just like that, Quest Supernatural's down to 2 players with 1 down.
Yeah, really nice little play there by Black. Peeks the corner at the exact correct time, nabs 2, and trades out. OJC's been really good at that, at getting those 1 or 2 picks and then trading out with it, but still having that, 1 for 2 trade advantage. And that has really been carrying them very well in a lot of these matchups.
Yeah, OJC's very good at getting profit out of their trades. Not so much on the Quest Supernatural side, and as we've seen in some of the other matches, other teams aren't so good about doing that either against OJC. OJC seems to come out on top in most of their trades.
We'll see if Nep here is going to hear Toast on his approach. It looks like he is repositioning to the window, and Toast is making plenty of noise to give Nep the information he needs. He's going to pop over the wall and nab that pick, and that is going to leave just 2 members of Quest Supernatural up. Silverfire identifying their count.
Yeah, OJC is really pushing Quest Supernatural around. They aren't letting them get the momentum. Every time Quest Supernatural tries to make a bold move, OJC's punishing them for it. Every time they move around, try and do a hard flank with a full team, large sections of that team get cut down. And it's good to see from OJC. They're a good team, good veteran team.
Let me know when. Gotcha.
We'll see how this positioning works out. They do have a decent amount of time, 2.5 minutes left here. Pickle Police now pushing down towards Shinzo's defensive coverage on the inside of 5-story here. He slows up a little bit. He might be able to just sneak up on Shinzo. It doesn't seem like he's hurt him yet.
Yeah, that's definitely what it looks like is happening, but the OJC defense is just in such unique places that I'm not entirely sure Quest Supernatural's ready for it, and Shinzo finds Pickle Police from behind, and I guess we were wrong. Shinzo knew where he was the whole time.
Yeah, he was ready on that corner, and we saw Pickle sort of like quick peek the angle, but that long post gave him just enough coverage, and the long shot from Nashi seals the deal, and OJC go up 4-1 here in Quarantine, and definitely have secured their spot in the top 3 in the standings of this Challenger Cup Group A.
This would have been ace for OJC if they didn't get that miss, I guess, back out of the round. But that was a strong showing from OJC there. Very dominant plays, lots of trade profit coming out, and bravo. Quest Supernatural obviously putting up a good fight, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, really well done by both teams. I mean, a fantastic series to watch. The next round is going to be a pretty crazy one. We're going to have to, you're going to have to keep an eye on OML 1 and OML 2 here, because we're going to have the top fights, the fights for first and the fights for second will be happening on these channels. But in the meantime, we got to go figure out what those fights are going to be. So we're going to go see if there's any other games that we can tune into that are in progress. And if not, we will go set up for our final round. So we're going to take a brief intermission, and we will be back as soon as we have a game to show you. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.